Hello. Thank you so much for coming. I'm John. I'm from Gamer Network. I'm just here to introduce our next session, which is all about the venerable city-building franchise Anno. So we've got Marcel Hattam and Bastien Thun from Ubisoft Blue Byte are here to take us through a session called From 1602 to 1800, 20 Years of City Building with Anno. Those guys are going to be on stage in just a second, but we're going to open with a quick look at Anno 1800, which is the newest game.
Hello, everybody. Hello, EJAX. Hello, Birmingham. We're super delighted to be here. My name is Marcel Hattam. I'm the international brand manager for the Anno franchise at Ubisoft Blue Byte. We come from faraway, exotic Germany all the way to you. This handsome gentleman is my partner in metaphorical crime, Bastien Thun, our community developer. And today we'd like to take you on a journey to a topic that should be very familiar to Birmingham, the Industrial Revolution. So we're here to talk Anno. What is Anno? You know, Anno has quite the history. For over 20 years, actually, earlier this year, we celebrated our anniversary. Anno has stood for one thing. It's high-quality city-building games with great production values made in Germany. And, you know, we've covered a lot of human history throughout this time. We've been to the Crusades, we've been to the Renaissance, we even went all the way to the future, settled the ocean's floor, and when the world was not enough, we went to the moon. And to really hammer home just how much history there is with Anno, a little tidbit I like to throw out. Pretty much when the first Anno came out in March 1998, the #1 single everywhere in the world was My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. So that should give you some perspective. I see some people here, I'm not sure you were born yet, but you know, it's been quite a while. So let's roll up the video that we have to really show you easily and digestibly what Anno stands for. As you can see, Anno is pretty much a classic rags to riches story. You start with an empty island, just a handful of resources, a single ship. And then over time, as you play, that island basically becomes your canvas. And upon this canvas, you will build your very own industrialized empire. And one thing that makes Anno stand out from a lot of other city-building games is it's not just a city-building game. There's a broad feature set that combines different elements from strategy genres. So yes, of course, we have city building, but we also have diplomacy, trade, warfare. But I know it's human nature. We love to put names on things, and we love to put tags on things. And of course, if you want to put the classic genre tag on something, then Anno, it's a city building game at its heart. And the core gameplay loop is very simple. You have to make sure that your citizens are reasonably happy, so you will be able to unlock new production chains, unlock new buildings, advance through the ages, and advance through the advancements of the Industrial Revolution. To do so, we come to the second gameplay pillar, economy. Anno, it's also an economic simulation. You have to make sure that your machineries, and your factories are putting out all the goods that your citizens want, or you won't get very far indeed. And that brings me to the third part, because we just saw this empty island that you start out on, you probably won't find all the resources you need on this first island. So you have to go out into the world, you have to discover things, you have to interact with other factions, through diplomacy, through trade, and of course, it's the 19th century, also through naval battles, if need be. And we do that across the 3 gameplay modes that we have in Anno 1800. So there's the customizable sandbox mode. Sorry, I just have to use this picture. I love it. Yeah. It's a running joke in a company that whenever I get a chance to, I use this picture of the little boy playing with his very own Titanic. So the customized sandbox mode, it's where people spend most of their time in Anno. As it says, it's highly customizable, and it's up to you what experience you're looking for. If you're looking for a very mellow Sunday afternoon game, just set up a game for you with very relaxed AI opponents that trade with you, a lot of resources, and just build away. Or if you're really looking for a hardcore time, just create a game with lots of aggressive pirates, very aggressive AI opponents that will constantly attack you, and see how far you can get. We have a story-driven campaign. We haven't talked about it too much yet, and we won't do for a little while longer, but it's fair to say that it's firmly rooted in the tradition of 19th century adventure stories, so there's probably going to be some conspiracies, there's some travel around the world, and yes, there may be some secret societies or brotherhoods. And we bring back the classic Anno multiplayer experience. So everything I just described with the sandbox, just bring your friends along, just have a mellow, let's build up and peacefully trade, or bash each other's heads in with your fleets, entirely up to you, of course. Now, one question that people ask us a lot, why the 19th century? And as I mentioned earlier, Anno has quite a history. It's been 20 years, there's been 6 games, and as I said, we've covered a lot of human history, the Crusades, the Renaissance, so why did we pick the 19th century now, especially since our last 2 games were sci-fi games? And there's 2 big reasons for that. It's what the community wants, as you can see from this handsome gentleman here. Whenever we ship an Anno game, afterwards we ask players, what settings would you like to see explored in the future? And for the past 10 years, constantly, one of the top 3 choices has always been the age of the Industrial Revolution. That brings me to my second point. I think the community is absolutely right. Because if you think about everything I just mentioned, that gameplay mix that Anno has, building something up, technological advancements, trades, diplomacy, warfare, there's a lot of that happening throughout 19th century history. And of course, that gives us as developers a lot to inspire us and to work with. And if we want to queue up the last video, you're going to see, in one simple split screen, why this is a great setting. On the left side, this is how you start out. You're going to build largely rural hamlets, your first farms. And then later on the right side, you see probably what Birmingham may have looked like 150 years ago. This is what people expect from the Industrial Revolution. You will have these heavy machinery. But important thing here, Anno, it's a very systemic-driven game. It's not an RPG. It's totally up to you what you want to do. Of course, you can say, I want to make sure my citizens are reasonably happy. I'm going to have a lot of farms and make sure I have a beautiful island that people want to live in, probably good air quality. Or you can be, if you want to, and pardon my French, you can be an utter bastard and be like, I don't care if the citizens are happy. I want to be a classic robber baron. I want to have the greatest, largest industrial empire the world has ever seen, the dirtiest sky, the most pollution. I don't care as long as money comes in. It's up to you. You can do what you want. And if we want to go back to the PowerPoint, please. No, not great. So that is, at a glance, Anno 1800. It's the next great, if I may say so, city-building game coming from Ubisoft Blue Byte to PC globally on February 26, 2019. And now, I'd say we're going to show you a little bit of a live gameplay demo. Fingers crossed things are working, because live gameplay demos can be wonky at times. Take it away, Basti.
Wait. I thought you just stand there, do the talking, I sit here, enjoy myself. So I have to do the talking now?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to sit,
but
that's
that
why I'm the
means
boss.
you control the game.
Yes, I'll play it again.
Okay, I can do that, I think.
And you describe what we see here.
Let's see Anno 1800 in action. So here you see a beautiful city of Birmingham, or what we imagined how Birmingham looked like 150 years ago. It's probably a little bit smaller than past-time Birmingham, and classical Anno feeling. We start with the harbor scene. In the final game, you will be able to build huge harbor, customizable harbor settings. And there's also a small teaser, because there are some defense structures. We won't talk about naval combat right now, but as you have seen before, this makes a large part of the Anno experience. And I would say, we do a little journey through the 19th century, and to give you the classic old-school Anno experience, we start with our granary, or farm village.
Yes, farm village coming up. There you go.
Okay. So here you can see in Anno 1800 what is really special compared to the older games. You now will need all your different residential tiers as a workforce. So even if you advance through your city, you will still need farmers to work on the fields to make sure that everyone has enough to eat. And we put a lot of sense for detail into our farm fields. They're one by one, so you can really customize the area. We use also modules, as you can see here with the sheep farm. No, it's a pig farm.
The pig is having a really good time over here, I think, for now. So
there's a lot of detail in that. But I think for people, if some of you are familiar with the Anno experience, so with games like 1404 as an example, this is okay, this next-gen Anno, that looks really cool, but that is not exactly what we think about when we talk about the Industrial Revolution, right? So let's show our industrial district. So in here you can see the Industrial Revolution really in action. And there's a lot of smog, there's a lot of pollution in the air. We just put the workers' buildings, the residential buildings of our working class, into the industrial district. That was kinda the common standard by the time, and people were not giving so much ideas about economy back then. But this will have an effect on your workers. So the pollution might make them unhappy or even sick. So that's all stuff you have to keep in mind. It won't be as rough as with like in 2070, where you had to really decide if you would like a tycoon or eco. But this will play a role. Can you zoom in the factories a little bit? I think they're currently idling. Yeah, that looks good. So, yeah, you will have steelworks, you will have weapon factories, many different like buildings, and they're really huge. Like our factories we will have representing the Industrial Revolution will be the biggest in an Anno game we had ever so far. And this is something I really look forward to. While people enjoy the romantic rural areas, for me, I'm coming from the Ruhr area in Germany, which is pretty much like a working class, heavy mining town area. For me, this is like a romantic feeling I really like. Can you jump to the harbor real quick? Maybe you can upgrade. Oh, there you see Marcel. Or that. Yeah, just upgrade the harbor, because at the moment we have a lot of like overhead production, which means our factories are idling and not currently really working. But if we jump now back to our factories, they should start working again. Yeah, zoom in. Yeah, here we go. There you can
now
see. Like visual feedback plays an important and large part for Anno 1800. So we spend a lot of time to making like the environment and the city really lively, and especially with the Industrial Revolution part that looks really nice. But yeah, Anno is also about beauty, sense of detail, beauty building, and I would say we leave our industrial district for a moment and show you the city center.
We will in a second, yes.
I have no idea.
As soon as I find my
shortcuts. Managed. Yeah, perfect.
There you go.
So yeah,
City center.
This is a residential 3. I would say not a medium-sized city. It's not really huge yet, but I would say we are striving for becoming like a true big metropolis. The final game, the main session, will have 5 residential tiers. So there's a lot more to build. And as you can see here, here's a pub area. There's a lot of visual feedback going on. And we usually like to tell stories in that like visual feedback. So we spend a lot of time doing like small animation events and stuff. So Anno players or future Anno players, we want to invite you when you play the game, zoom in, take a few minutes, check really what's going on, and encounter maybe some drunk people running around, stumbling around the pub, or the school is also a great example. Can you check out the school?
Can. 1 second.
Is the school gone? Where's the school?
No, the school is right
here.
here.
That should be the school. Turn around. Yeah, perfect.
There we go, school.
So yeah, you will hear with the school, you will sometimes see the principal coming out, being angry at the kids because they have probably too much fun, and I fear the people were very strict 150 or 200 years ago. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There will be many different like visual buildings, visual representation in buildings and animations. And yeah, sense of detail, beauty building has always been a thing in Anno games. So since the first game, people started to create beautiful, big, huge cities, create ornamental structures, and really wanted to do like this kind of like postcard idea of their city. And with Anno 1800, we thought, why not making like a whole feature based on beauty building for the people who really enjoy to create beautiful cities, which was a nice thing back then, but never like a real gameplay thing. So now we have a city attractiveness feature, which means as more beautiful and amazing your city looks like, you get more points, your city will grow in level, and that means you will unlock new ornaments, even sometimes specialists, so unique characters will stay on your island because they say, it's so beautiful here, you know what, we stay, and will be available as an item you can use to boost your production. But the best part is, it is now an active part of your community, of your economy. That means tourists will visit your city via your tourist harbor, and as more attractive your city gets, more tourists will flock into your city and bring money into your economy. So absolutely valid economic tactic now in Anno 1800. But there's more to it. As you can see here also, we have like a fair city right now. It's a place at least one person doesn't absolutely hate.
I absolutely love the descriptions. You can see here that one of our lead writers is British. So even though we're a German studio, there's a lot of very dry British humor in it, and I absolutely love it. There's also, I think if we upgrade it, it would be an interesting city, genuinely interesting, not interesting in the Anglican sense. So, you know, there's even though it's a city building game, there's a lot of personality.
But at least as well. We have more culture right now than pollution. As you can see, the pollution takes a deep hit on our city attractiveness. But we have also a very specific building, a cultural building, which makes a lot of like our cultural points. And to show you that, like a real pleasure for beauty builder, I want to invite you to our zoo. It's totally fitting in the 19th centuries because it was a time when people have heard about various exotic animals from far away but have never seen them. And with the zoo, you have the chance to actually showpiece your animals and your special things from far away, and then tourists, as you can see right here, will flock into your city, and animals are sorted by rarity. So like there are common animals like the deer as an example, right, or wolves, but there are more like exotic animals or rare animals like the black panther right now. And if you watch the visual feedback closer, especially go over to the gorillas as an example.
Yeah, as you can see here, deers are not exciting because, let's be honest, as Europeans,
no one's watching the deers.
See deers. Nobody wants to see the deers in the zoo. But, as Basti is saying, gorillas, much more important. A lot more people in fancy Sunday dresses checking them out.
So that's a great feature for beauty builders. This is completely based on modules, so you can customize your own zoo, create large zoo areas. So in the game, it will be totally possible, if you like, to create your own zoo island.
So as you can see here, there can be a lot of these modules, a lot of modules. So you can, if you want to go Jurassic Park, you can have your own, welcome to Zoo Island, pretty much.
But the question is, okay, it's a city building game, you build stuff, you build economy, where do I actually get these exotic animals from, right, for my zoo? So one part will be quests. As an example, we have AI, we have NPCs in the world of Anno, which is also special for a city building game. You have other characters. So you might be able to retrieve animals from quests or via trade. But we have also a brand new feature, which is very special for us. Oh, they're currently waiting, so we got some new tourists. Oh no, they're leaving. They're like...
No, they're moving to the city now.
No, they queued up properly. We're like, okay, no, it's not time to go, let's queue up. Now they got the sign. So we have a brand new feature, which is very special for us, and one of our most exciting features for us as a development team, because it allows us to tell you very specific and exciting stories in the world of the 19th century. It's called the Expeditions. And to show you that feature in action, I want to invite you all to an adventure. So here you can see an archaeological expedition, and you can see difficulty modes. So they're basically adventures with different level of difficulties. There are always things at stake, but you get high rewards, especially if, with the higher difficult adventures. And they're basically structured, maybe some of you know that, like a choose-your-own adventure book style of role-playing experience. So maybe tell something about your age. I love these kind of books when I was a child, because it was basically pen-paper role-play cheating. I could play on my own. So on the captain here, it gives you a few recommendations. It says like, okay, on this expedition, you will probably need rations, because it's a long expedition going on. You don't want that your sailors starve. You might need foreign cultures, and for that, it would be maybe good to have someone with like diplomatic skills on board if you get into trouble. Also, diseases are likely, so it would be better to have a doctor or something similar. And yeah, it's a dangerous time. Naval battles might be a thing, so better be prepared. And as a reward, I mean, that's not exactly an animal, but we get some artifacts. Sound good enough, right?
Something.
I would say we check it out. So now we have to assign a ship. And as you can see, the ships have all their own morale bars. It's basically the HP bar of your adventure. As higher the morale bar, as more likely you're able to run through the whole expedition until the end. And so it makes sense to put the cruddy snark. So, I mean, pardon,
again,
I have no idea.
If this is something inappropriate in English, we're sorry, we don't know. It's our writer did this, and he assured us that cruddy snark is nothing untoward at all. We'll have to believe him.
Yeah, our game writer sneaks a lot of stuff in.
We'll just roll with the cruddy snark for now.
And I'm not always sure about this, so I hope cruddy snark is nothing inappropriate. So yeah, we have here Captain James Topping. What is a ship without his captain? I would say, yeah, you can see the morale bar goes higher. It's good to have a captain on board. And now we need someone with diplomatic skills. We have a comedian. She has perfected the art of knock-knock jokes. That doesn't seem to be like a diplomatic expert, but I don't think we have anyone else, right? With the diplomatic skill right now.
Diplomatic evening school or something on the side.
We take her. She will manage. She can entertain the crew. So what else? So we need a doctor. Do we have a doctor or something? We have a bishop.
We have a whaler, a draughtswoman, and the master of the forge.
We have carpenters and stuff, but the only character you see right here with a medicine skill is the bishop. So I would say it's only medicine 10, but we take it.
I'll take it.
By the way, we have dozens of different characters in the final game. They're not only usable in expeditions, you can also use them in your city to boost production or give you a specific bonus, just to keep that in mind. But I think we need some rations, right? I would say, as a German, I would say we go for sausage
Sehr gut, ja.
or beer. But how about schnapps? Sausage or schnapps? What do you guys in Birmingham prefer, sausages or schnapps? So from the off comes sausage. I think we take schnapps. Or? Yeah, come on, take schnapps.
There's
Get that
somebody
schnapps
over
on
there is
board,
very excited
Marcel.
for schnapps here. Where is it? Oh,
There's it.
Not bad. Yeah, I found it.
Okay, now you can see schnapps
That's too much schnapps.
raises the morale a lot. I'm not 100% sure if then when we start like getting an encounter where we starve at high sea, if schnapps will help us. But probably will help with the morale, so fair enough. We get some cannons. Short thingy, even wooden planks and stuff. Like all the items you produce, of almost all items, have some sort of use. Planks help you to repair your ship. Soap helps you against diseases. So there's something to check out in the final game. So we start now.
Yeah.
Start the expedition.
Yes.
A bit of clipping. All the gameplay, by the way, you see here is still alpha. So we haven't even reached beta yet. And something to keep in mind. So some scenic view. The ship will leave in actual real time the map to go on its expedition. While we have like a couple of minutes time, I would say you show Madame Kahina's island. How about that?
Oh, sorry, my bad. There you go.
So, as mentioned before, we have AI, which is really special for a lot of like city building games. We have second-party AI, that's all the guys actually building cities and competing with you, and we have so-called third parties or neutral powers. This is Madame Kahina. She's a trader. She will offer you various goods. She will offer you quests. Check out her portrait.
1 second, let's go. Oh.
Boom, perfect. Where is she? She's like, no, she's not very talkative right now.
Oh,
there we go. So you might even be able to buy animals as an example. Maybe she has something for the zoo?
She has...
No.
Nope. Let's reroll. What's this?
This is
A
like,
white
but as you
tiger.
can see,
That
it's
would be
quite
pretty cool.
expensive. But it's an
Pretty
extraordinary one, so it's really good for her. But let's see, maybe we are lucky with our expedition.
Also, you could take, as you can see, Force. You could take the white tiger on an expedition. He's really helpful when it comes to fighting, I guess.
Can you?
Well, it says skill bonus Force plus 30.
Oh.
I
So
wouldn't.
we
I
should
wouldn't disagree
try
with the
that
white
out.
tiger.
We should try that out next time. Okay. So back to our expedition. Has the ship arrived at the world map yet?
Let's look at the world map.
Not yet, but it will arrive.
Oh, there it is.
There we go, we are on our way. So in the spirit of the 19th centuries, great manufacturers, scientists who explore the last secrets of mankind and of our planet, we are able to tell a lot of like different various stories with the new expedition features. There will be a lot in the final game. This is only one for demonstration purpose. Everything is a little bit speeded up, right? So in the final game, we'll take a little bit longer. We'll have various expeditions on the map, and especially a lot of encounters during that expedition. We have prepared one for you. Captain should say something? Yes.
There we go.
So we arrived at our destination, Love Island. This is our throwback to the mutiny on the Bounty, basically. So our sailors fell in love with the daughters of the chieftain, and we have problems. So we can decide maybe we just leave without them, but that would mean that we take a deep hit to our morale. That means we might not be able to finish the expedition. As mentioned, there are a lot of different events and encounters during each expedition. Or our diplomatic skills from our comedian can help to maybe ease the situation a bit. Or maybe the bishop, Faith, will help us. I'm not exactly sure about this situation, but maybe. So you decide, it's up to you. I would say we take bishop or comedian. Do you believe in
comedian.
the power of entertainment more
At
as in the power
Gamescom,
of
we
belief?
usually went with the bishop, so I'd say we go comedian today.
Okay. So we take comedian. By the
Fingers
way,
crossed.
this is not scripted. Everything can happen now.
So if somebody dies, please don't blame us. It's the game's
Exactly.
fault.
So people can actually.
Oh,
Like, wait, we pick
It's a truly
the
unfortunate
comedian and the bishop has to die. That's horrible. That never happened before. Like, we had a lot of people getting lost on expeditions, but this is really, really bad. Okay, fair enough. I would say that we have still the comedian on our side, right? So, as you can see, there's always a chance. Every character has a skill which determines if you will be successful or not, or how likely it is. Okay, we lost the bishop, high stakes. So yeah, one event, it could absolutely happen that you run through 2, 4, 5 different events. We had once, I think, at Gamescom where 3 following successive events happened. But that was one. We are back on our journey now.
Of course, the more difficult expeditions will have several events, and each one of them may have several choices that you have to make per event. So you really better make sure that you come well prepared with the right characters and the right white tigers, if need be.
So while we lost our bishop, maybe we can settle that the bishop just stayed on Love Island and is happy there.
Yes.
Our ship managed to return successfully from our expedition. As you can see, we have a rare or remarkable. Is it remarkable? Is it rare? I don't know. Animal. I think remarkable is the current wording is not final yet. We have a pink dolphin, totally a thing. They're coming from the Amazon jungle. But also, these 2 things to the left and to the right, that does not look like an animal, right? This is Mayan glyphs and Mayan temple. So the zoo is not enough. We have actually a second big cultural building project for you guys. Also in the spirit of the 19th century, it's the museum. So we created a blueprint to speed things a little bit up. The blueprints in the game will allow you to basically create your whole districts, areas, nice parks, etc. And then when you're ready, you can say like, okay, I like that. Boom, spend all the materials with 1 click. And here the museum basically works like the zoo. So you can slot different items in there. Let's check the Mayan temple. And how about the glyphs? Also modular. And the thing is, we have a lot of visualization again here. Different fossils. We have even like a T-Rex fossil in the game. Same as with the zoo. You have a lot of different items you can showpiece and showcase in your museum. And boom, the first tourists appear. So that was like a short look on our game, Anno 1800. There's way more. This game is absolutely feature-packed. We have also a website, anno-union.com, which is our community initiative. If you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, weekly updates about development. But we have more than 1 session actually in the game. As I said, it's a very vast feature list. We have also a second session called The New World. We have prepared a small video for you guys, and I would say that video, we just let it speak on its own, right?
And as we watch it, we have a few minutes for a couple of questions. If you have any, take a moment to think about what questions you want to ask and enjoy the video. Welcome to the New World. That's kein Sound. So as you can see here, the New World is not just visually very distinct, it's also very different gameplay-wise. So in Europe, we focus much more on the actual industrial revolution, all the heavy factories. In the New World, it's much more agricultural production. You have huge fields for cotton, sugar cane, all these goods. There's also 2 separate residential tiers, so all your buildings, etc., will also look very different in New World. And now, as mentioned, if anybody is brave enough to ask questions, by all means, I think there should be a mic right here in the center aisle. You're free to go.
Oh, hello.
I take a seat here.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hi.
So my buddy raised a really good point. You said that you could obviously buy different animals for your zoos, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do the animals breed in the zoos?
No.
They do not breed, no.
No, because he had the idea of trying to then use your zoo as like a factory to sell all the offspring, which I thought was a pretty cool idea.
It's something you could do, no, but it's sadly not possible. So ways to get new animals for your zoo are expeditions, quests, trades, mission rewards, but sadly no breeding.
Ah, okay, no worries.
It's a Peggy 7 game.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Cheers.
Any other questions?
Our city of Birmingham became more attractive. That's the screen.
Birmingham is truly attractive. What is it now? It's a curious city. Peculiarity can be attractive. Okay. That's
Okay.
well, if there is there one more question? I don't know. Or maybe the gentleman is leaving? No, there's a question.
Hello.
Hey, yeah. how you doing?
My question was that I've seen it a lot in your games. You have characters that act as different features, actually.
Yep.
But one thing I don't see is different in-game avatars. Like maybe your mayor is not just a character that you see in different screens, but someone that actually inhabits the game world and actually is actually affected by it, which could relate to quests and other different kinds of features.
So we do have, as Basti mentioned, we have a quite diverse range of characters. But usually you only see them in the game world as these 3D portraits. So you don't see them walking around as avatars in your cities. You will only see, let's go to Eli.
Can we put that on the screen for a second?
See characters like this in the game world in portraits when it comes to trade, when they give you quests and missions. We have a diplomacy system, so when you interact with them diplomatically, you will see the portrait. And also, what you will see is, if you click on any residential areas, here you see the people living in the houses, and they all have fully animated portraits. And basically, how happy they are is displayed also in the 3D portrait. So right now she's content, so she's reasonably happy. She's not super happy, she's not miserable. But depending on, we have 5 states, from euphoric, super happy, to the most miserable person in the world. And those will also be reflected in these 3D avatars. So your mayor, like the character you play yourself, is not in the game world, but you will see a lot of other characters, and they are not hesitant to tell you exactly what they think about your work as a mayor. So if you're not doing a good job, they'll be happy to tell you that.
Yes, but what I'm trying to bring up is that apart from this way of playing, it can also open the way, it can also enable new features for Anno games.
Sure.
Especially like the idea of instead of just using things like you had in 2207, which was similar to a campaign, or the idea of also here, which is also similar to a campaign, you can actually have kind of a protagonist character that can actually be used to tell a story.
So we work very closely with our community. Like we announced the Anno Union over a year ago in pre-alpha, and community feedback is super important for us. And we have, if you like, you can go to the anno-union.com website, share your feedback there, because that is where we as a devs frequently read that. We also gather ideas from our community. And we always love to get this kind of like input from you guys. So feel free to share that idea. Maybe for a future Anno title, we will see.
And as we mentioned, there is once again a story-based campaign that we're not talking about yet, but there will be a lot more, characters and, maybe more of the content you're looking for. Actual them talking to you, showing emotions, all of that. There's more of that in campaign, but we can't quite show it yet.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I think time is up, right?
I'd say we have one last question, if there is immediately somebody who wants to go for it. The gentleman there looks curious again.
Hi again.
Hey, yeah, sure. Welcome back.
I don't know if you're allowed to answer this, so obviously just
hopefully.
shut me down. Is mod support in the pipeline?
It would be amazing, but sadly it's not something we have planned currently.
No? Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Okay. So thanks for having us.
Thank you all of you for coming today. Thanks for everybody watching on the stream. On behalf of our hopefully incredibly hardworking team back home, guys, in case you're watching this, please go back now to developing the game. Thank you so much, and we hope you have a lovely EGX, and we see you all in the Industrial Revolution come February 26, 2019. Thank you.